heyopādeyatā tāvatsaṃsāraviṭapāṅkuraḥ spṛhā jīvati yāvadvai nirvicāradaśāspadam pravṛttau jāyate rāgo nirvṛttau dveṣa bālavaddhīmānevameva vyavasthitaḥ. As long as desire, which is the root of the state of non-discrimination, exists, so long there will indeed be the sense of acceptance and aversion, which are the branch and sprout of the tree of saṁsāra. Verse 8. Activity begets attachment, and absenteeism from it generates aversion. The wise man is free from the pairs of opposites, like a child, and indeed is well established in the self. We'll just go through a few lines from Chinmaya's commentary, because from the source, the essence of both these verses have been explained sufficiently and in depth while dealing with the earlier verses. Verse number 7. There is this quote from Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. When a man thinks of objects, attachment for them arises. From attachment, desire is born. From desire arises anger. From anger comes delusion. From delusion, loss of memory. From loss of memory, the destruction of discrimination. From destruction of discrimination, he perishes. And he continues, desires are the very springs of non-discrimination. Inasmuch as the mind is stormed by desire, loses its ability to judge the situations correctly. When our understanding is weak, we will be tossed about in the confusion of acceptance and aversion, likes and dislikes, towards the available objects around us. Ashtavakra describes here that the entire tree of worldly life stems forth from desires. Next verse, which says, the wise man is free from the pairs of opposites of attachment out of activity and aversion out of absenteeism from activity. And he stays like a child established in the self. Commentary. Without a desire, activity is impossible. The more we act in a field, our desires in that field increase. Mental entanglements with the world outside is attachment. Thus, activity begets attachment. Certain fields of activities are rejected by us because we know that they are not conducive to us. The rejection or absenteeism implies our aversion towards certain kinds of experiences. The liberated is free from all pairs of opposites. He has neither attachment nor aversion. He lives in the infinite bliss of the self, and therefore he meets life head-on as it comes to greet him. He neither runs after objects nor runs away from them. Such a man is well established in the self divine. This essence of this verse has been told in verse 6, where it is explained how the wise man is free of the two pairs, action or inaction, both. Where we said one who has aversion for sense objects is considered as not sensual, and one who covets them is sensual. But he who does not accept or reject is neither sensual or not sensual. While elaborating on this verse, he has vividly described about the state of a Jivan Mukta with respect to this, which also covers the essence of this verse 7 and verse 8. Here, Ashtavakra uses the very familiar and popular simile used to describe a wise man like a child. If once we remove our sentimental prejudices and come to judge scientifically, it must be confessed that a child is an idiot, and it has not yet developed its powers of judgment and its faculty of rational thinking. To compare a wise man to a child is therefore obviously not true, but in all scriptures we find this comparison repeatedly coming up. So, there must be a deeper and valid significance. A child expresses both anger and love according to its mood of the moment, but the child immediately forgets its earlier mood, meaning the child refuses to poison the present moment with the memories of its past moment. In short, a wise man, like a child, meets every moment afresh. He never allows the memories of the past to muddy his present. Nor does a wise man break the harmony of the present with the discordant notes of his own anxiety for the future. Moment to moment he lives happily, dynamically, boldly facing his circumstances around him and his moods within. It is in this sense that we must understand a wise man's life when it is described as like a child, unquote. Basically, if we go further deep, a child has gathered minimum experiences, and hence it carries memory of the impact of barest minimum experiences, rather no experiences. What does it mean? There is nothing in the child's memory bank. There are no vasanas at all. So, it leads its life moment to moment. Now come to the essence of these two verses. Let us repeat the two verses. Seventh verse, as long as desire, which is the root of the state of non-discrimination, exists, so long there will indeed be the sense of acceptance and aversion. Now come to a child. What desire it has, possibly? It has no desire. It just has some minimum needs for milk, for food. And it just needs to be cleaned up. And its dress to be changed. And otherwise, in all other situations other than its sleeping time, it is smiling all through and it is playing all through. It is giggling for no reasons all through. So where is desire in a child? So the verse is not applicable for a child. In this context, a jnani is like a child. None of this, he has no desire. So this verse itself is not valid for a jnani. With respect to a child leading its life moment to moment, let us look at the 8th verse. Activity begets attachment and absenteeism from it generates aversion. The wise man is free from the pairs of opposites. Let us look at the child's activities. It just plays. It does not take up any activity due to attachment. And it does not abstain from any activity due to aversion. Both of them are not there in a child. It plays, it laughs, it giggles, and then it sleeps with no reason attributable to it. There is no attachment to anything for a child. There is no aversion to anything for a child. In this respect, a jnani is like a child. He is free from the pairs of all dvandvas, all opposites. Go back to the purpose of the birth lesson where he conveyed these beautiful lines of the poet. பால் மணக்கும் பருவத்திலே உன்னைப் போல் நான் இருந்தேன். பட்டாடை மேனியை சிட்டு போல் படுத்திருந்தேன். How I was like a child. I was exactly like you, dressed, and I was just lying. How அந்நாளை நினைக்கையிலே என் வயதும் மாறுதல். உன்னை போல் ஆவதற்கே உள்ளமும் தாவதடா. How I feel I wear like you, I live like you as a child, without any of the vices, without any of the bad qualities, with no raga, no dveṣa, no fear, no asmita, no kleshas, no vasanas, no attachment, no aversions, nothing. How beautiful if we had never grown up in our attitude, in our nature, and we had remained childlike. Imagine. Hari Om Tat Sat.